Awareness has no form of its own. It has no form or state of its own, or sensation or experience. So what does that mean, awareness has no form of its own? It means that you cannot find it. When we point to awareness, we simply point to the recognition that this experience is known. We point to the acknowledgement, the deep acknowledgement, that not only we experience things, but we're able to. So we're not, for a moment, we're not fooled by whatever story we apply to the situation. We stop and acknowledge that there is an awareness of this. Right? So the word awareness doesn't point to something, because awareness has no form of its own. That's the beauty. It's also the challenging part for the intellect, for the mind, because it tries to find something and it thinks in terms of things and objects and states. It needs to recognize this versus this. It needs to recognize this versus this. It thinks in objects, it thinks in terms of separation. And awareness is the great unifier, because everything is experienced as a perception of awareness. So every experience, every situation, every appearance meets in awareness. Yet awareness itself has no form of its own. Not even formlessness. Formlessness is just another form. Not even emptiness. Not the way we know emptiness. Not the way we experience emptiness. When we say empty awareness, we refer to the fact that awareness is empty. It's devoid of having a form of its own. Awareness is devoid even of a form called awareness. So when we relax into awareness, we simply relax into the recognition of awareness being present. But it's not about finding awareness. It's not about seeking for awareness as being something as opposed to everything else. It's not that awareness and the world are separate. It's not that there's a background awareness and a foreground world of forms. So recognize awareness, but don't try to identify it as being anything in particular, because it doesn't have a form of its own. Its only form is this experience. Whatever the experience might appear as, whatever you might feel like, whatever you might think, that's awareness. Awareness isn't separate from, doesn't exist as a state apart from experiences. It doesn't have a form of its own, so you can't find it outside of experiences, or to be different from experiences. And yet it's unaffected. Even though it's not really existing in and of itself, there is an unaffectedness to the immediacy of your direct experience. There is unaffectedness right now, in the midst of every experience. That's why we point to awareness, because awareness gives rise to this sense of changelessness, because you're aware right now, and right now, and right now, and my hand moved 3 times like this, and all the while you're still aware. So there's this realization of changelessness, to be at the core of every experience, at the heart of every experience. That's why it's beneficial, because it frees up all the ideas we have about being attached to the change, being identified with the changing phenomena. So we're able to relax as awareness into awareness. It's not that we relax into awareness as opposed to the experience, or as separate from the experience. That's not possible. That experience would just be another experience. The experience of resting as awareness, apart from the world, would just be another experience in awareness, or as awareness. So you see, awareness doesn't have a shape or form or size or dimension or state of its own. The only form it has is your present experience exactly as it is. Knowing this, don't go looking for awareness to be a particular thing or state of mind. Whenever you notice yourself going, so this is awareness, or this sensation is awareness, or this realization is awareness, then you separate awareness out from everything else. But awareness is just as much this experience. Freedom, which is synonymous with awareness, is just as much this experience as every bit of emptiness or presence or purity that you've ever experienced. Its only form is the experience exactly as it is right now. So it doesn't have a form of its own. This is very important to realize, because if you think that awareness has a form of its own, you'll continue to refer to it as if it's something outside of yourself, as if it's some ultimate state apart from this experience. How could it? How could there be awareness apart from this experience? And how could there be experience apart from this awareness? They are one and the same, not two things conjoined, not world and awareness conjoined. They are only one thing, not even a thing, you see? Because awareness has no form of its own, it's everything. So rest as awareness, rest in this conviction, in this confidence, in this knowing that there is nowhere to go, that there is no awareness to realize even. Rest, relax, give up all these descriptions for a moment. And notice your naturally relaxed, peaceful state, that undivided state, which is everything. Everything is undivided, except in our descriptions about it. So to say relax into the experience is the same as resting as awareness. Throw yourself out there, into the experience, whatever you feel right now. Don't stand aloof. Don't stand separate from it. Don't stand as an interpreter of your own experiences. Lose that standpoint. Breathe into the experience. Feel it exactly as it is. And realize in going fully into the experience, being totally vulnerable and open, you'll notice the indestructibility of everything. But you need to be totally vulnerable before you can fully realize this. Because if there's still this subtle state of trying to avoid whatever nasty stuff you might experience, such as negative emotions, for exactly that long, you will not fully confirm to yourself that you really are indestructible. It's only when you fully surrender yourself, fully vulnerable to whatever you experience, meaning to let go of your descriptions and to purely experience even the negative emotions, that which you fear. Nakedly, fearlessly experience whatever comes up. And in being the experience, you realize that there is a freedom from and in and as the experience that's indestructible. Awareness has no form of its own. It's this experience exactly as it is. Relax right here.